What event's going to be your first world record?
Oh. 50 fly. I don't know. That's a weird question.
I know. Welcome to Social Kick.
Welcome to the Social Kick Podcast. I'm Brian Lundquist. We got a fun group today. Luke Paddington and, can you believe it, high school phenom, Olympic silver medalist, two-time world champ, American record holder, coming straight off senior prom, Claire Curzan. What's up, Claire?
Hello.
Well, I think we got to start there. Give us the prom download.
Yeah, so we went to a local restaurant. It was me and then 3 of my friends. So we had a blast. We took a ton of pictures. I'm pretty sure my camera roll is like on overload and I'll probably need to like delete some. But yeah, dinner was great. We went to downtown Raleigh. Parking was a little scary. Navigation is not my strong suit, so we got a little lost, but we found the parking garage. Prom was a blast, and yeah, came back home, practiced the next day, so it was a grind.
Downtown Raleigh is cool. I like it. There's a cool hotel there that's also like a museum right in the downtown. You should go and check it out. It's happening, man.
It's always fun going down there. So.
I got to know, what was your favorite song of the night?
I think Gasolina played and everyone got really excited, or the Macarena or the Cupid Shuffle, because like everyone was so excited about it. So yeah.
The Macarena?
Yeah, they played the Macarena and I was shocked, but it was blast. So
yeah, I'm surprised that that's even still relevant. I guess it's cemented its legacy and history as like something you do at proms and weddings.
Yes, it is. It's honestly the best dance to do though, because like everyone knows it. It's super fun and everyone just has a good time. So
okay, so is the electric slide officially no longer relevant at all?
I'm afraid not. But
this is good. It's just so funny. Well, because I remember like that, it was relevant at one point, but it came like, I don't know, 20 or 30 years before, I was at a prom. So it's funny to have the Macarena there, which I remember from like when I was a kid. So
yeah.
Wait, so what kind of music are you into then? Besides fun dance music?
Yeah, she didn't say a slow song. She didn't say, Kenny G.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I kind of am fine with whatever. I don't really have a specific music taste, but like before I swim, I'll listen to like some AC/DC, Imagine Dragons, Pitbull stuff. But like that's like only when I'm kind of specific. But otherwise, I don't care.
You just hit such a broad spectrum.
I know.
Of AC/DC, Imagine Dragons, and Pitbull.
Yeah. They're all pretty hype songs, so I don't know. Yeah. I just listen to Pitbull in practice. So either Pitbull or Chicken Fried. There's like no in between.
So whenever I run, I always listen to music. I love it. It gets me going, gets me cranking. And John, who's our colleague on this show, he swims with music always. He can't swim without music now. And Brian, you tried his new things, right? And they're really good. Have you tried that, Claire, swimming with music?
I've had the ones where it's like a coach can talk to you like from it, so it's like a microphone one.
Yeah.
And she like played music in the microphone, which was kind of funny. But yeah, I haven't had the music ones yet.
We don't like you, the coach, speaking to the. All right, that was a good push off. No, come on.
Too many voices, please. I'm just trying to focus.
I need this voice. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I've been in a pool before where our coach was in the. It was like a tower, like a control tower. He was overlooking the pool, and there were speakers in the pool, so he could just call anybody out, and everybody could hear it. So it wasn't like a specific headset.
But it's worse when synchro is training in the pool with you and the same song is on repeat for your 2-hour practice and you only hang 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and you're trying to work hard and you're like, much love to sing the artistic swimming. We have to.
Yeah. That's so true. Yeah, Claire, you're about to age out of the well, actually, I don't know. Does anybody ever ask you, do you dive and swim? Like, which one do you do?
I haven't gotten that question yet, but like a lot of people ask me about diving where it's like, I'm sorry, I have no idea. Like, mad respect for the sport. It looks like so much fun and also terrifying, but yeah, I mean, it's so cool though, because for high school swimming, actually get to like watch diving. Because at year-round meets, like you normally are never around diving, but
Yeah.
finally finally factors into like the team score, like it does for NCAA's. So it's honestly like a great little stepping stone, and it's fun to have all those like co-ed, especially like going into college.
Are you comfortable on the diving board? Has anybody ever asked you on your, like, I remember sometimes high school teams, they might be short a diver, and so it's like, oh well, to get the third person, like somebody from the swim team has to go and just like go off the diving board to score a point. Has that ever come up?
Not for me. My coaches let me stick with swimming, and by safety, I think, because I would definitely break something. But I have had a couple brave teammates that have primarily swam or not even swim at all, and then all of a sudden jump into doing both sports. So that's been really cool just to kind of watch their transition and also just them learning.
Public safety announcement to anybody listening: when you dive off a 10-meter, you don't enter like this. Okay, this is not how you enter, but off the 10-meter. Brian, what do you do?
Oh my gosh, we did this. We did something once where we're working on body alignment, and so it was like, there were, I don't know how many towers there. There's like the 1 meter, the 3, the 5, the 7.5, and the 10 on the tower, and we started by, hanging from our feet from the platform.
How do you do that?
So you'd kind of lay down on the ground and then inch forward and then just kind of curl over and like hook your arms onto the tower like this as you kind of do a somersault, and then hang your feet. You'd like flex your ankle like that, hang the tower on your foot, and then you'd have a partner that somebody would hold on to your feet just for extra security.
Yeah.
And so you'd go like, you would absolutely rip it though with like try to get zero splash. So it'd go 1 meter, 3 meter. And I remember going off the 5 meter, and I mean, watching it on the video, there's just no splash. So then you just each time try to just perfect body alignment. And then I go up to the 7.5. I don't think I ever made it to 10, but I went from the 5 to the 7.
Yeah.
And on 5, I did a regular streamline kind of grip. But
yeah,
it was, but like divers, when they enter the water from a high impact, like that high up, they do this kind of, they wrap it like this,
not with your head.
and then when it hit the water, they break it open, right? So it's like this punching through, and that's how you get that rip sound.
Yeah.
Well, I about ripped my shoulder out when I went to the 7.5 because I still entered, like a streamline, like a swimmer, and I couldn't hold it with that impact. So
they need to teach us these things. It should be like in pool, like don't pee in the pool. Don't do this, and don't dive streamline off the 10-meter.
Maybe don't do
Instead, we get please shower before entering. Yeah.
Actually, wait. So, have you? A lot of the pools in Europe and Asia, you probably know this, have the that little pool area, that little moat or something that between the locker room and the pool deck, you like step into a little shallow pool of water, and it's, have you ever seen a pool like this?
No.
It's like I don't know, how would you describe it, Luke? There's like this little tiny shallow little puddle.
Clean your feet before you go in.
Yeah, and you're supposed to step in it, clean your feet off, and then step onto the pool deck. But usually that little bridge or whatever isn't so wide that like you can't just jump over it. And I always found I always thought it was so gross. It's like you're gonna get a foot fungus or something by stepping in that little. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, the only thing I've kind of had to that extent, in our training camp in Japan before we went to the arena, the way you exited the locker rooms, it was like this shower like tunnel thing, but like I think it was triggered by motion or something. So the first time one of us went through it, it like sprayed you. So then the rest of the time we all were like figuring out ways to like avoid being sprayed and not get drenched before we got in the pool. So that's the only it was shocking, and like you didn't know how it went off. You didn't know where the sensor was.
Wait, so what was the magic? How did you get through without getting sprayed?
One person suffered.
Some separate entrance we found that you could kind of sneak in from. So that's how we entered and exited.
I'm just picturing you guys like double dutching your way like through. Okay, we're gonna.
Yeah, and like sometimes it wouldn't even go off, so it was really hit or miss. But I don't know.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so you have trials. You only got a couple weeks of trials. Home pool. Actually, I wanted to ask you about this because I think I heard you say somewhere that your coach and that you're kind of approach to big meets is not so much this what traditional swimmers think about with a big build. And then, I mean, like say Dressel, for example, is probably a poster boy for this because, he's the example of, swimming for him really slow in season. And then, but with a huge drop at the meet of the year. But you're somebody who swims really fast in season, kind of like Michael Andrews doing. So is that a fair assessment to say that you guys like to be swimming fast all the time? And what does that mean for your approach to trials?
It's funny you bring that up because like I think I learned a lot just from Olympic trials and the Olympic experience and just like kind of testing it out like this whole year. I think it's great that it's so close. It's literally an hour down the road for me, so I don't necessarily have to juggle or dance around like travel or trying to work my way around jet lag or anything like that. But I mean, it's not the intention to be swimming fast. I train hard. I literally did a double like a day before I left for San Antonio. So it's not like I'm trying to like do all these little tapers before meets, but I mean, we train pretty fast in practice. I mean, you just want to kind of leave it all in there. It's the San Antonio, Westmont were all great like training days for me. No taper at all. And I think like with my age and my experience, I've just been able to swim fast in season. I don't really know why. I don't know how, but I think just going into trials, almost keeping my intensity up a little bit because I'm not as big as Caleb Dressel or all those other boys, obviously. Yeah, no, not for me. But yeah, I think I can stay a little higher up in volume and still be pretty good because it's for me more of a worry of over tapering than under tapering.
But what does it do now to the pressure it might bring? Because people have all these expectations. Oh my God, do you see what she did last weekend? Imagine what she's gonna do when she rests or something like that. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, whoa, do I like to be under the radar and come and shock them out of lane 7? Or are you thriving that stuff? Like, yeah, I'm the big dog. Let's go.
Yeah, I think I always kind of like the underdog mindset, and I've tried lately to not be kind of looking at those comments and everything, just because I think it's better for the long run. But I mean, I think it's exciting that people have high expectations for me. I think it's nice to think that I'm kind of at one of the top places in the sport. But ultimately, it's just about swimming, and what they say and what they don't say doesn't really affect how I'm going to swim. It's just the training I put in, how I prepare for the meet, my hydration, my rest it's what ultimately makes me go fast. So as long as I can just depend on that, then I don't really need them to say anything or
I'm curious about. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask. I was wondering who helped you get to that mindset besides yourself. Obviously, your parents. Is Bruce your main coach? Like talk about that and where you got that mindset from, because that's refreshing to hear from you people.
Yeah. So actually, I recently got a sports psych. So I went to the Olympics. I learned so much just from the training camp, from being around all of those high level athletes that have been in it for so long. And I think the one thing that was just across the board is mental health is so important. Like you have to have someone who can teach you to be just tough, to be strong, how to handle these expectations when you get to these huge stages. So I got a sports psych when I came back. I've been learning just a ton from him. I've been loving it so far, just growing in an aspect that I'd never really considered before. And then also my parents are learning from me, and I'm telling everything that I'm learning to Bruce and stuff. And obviously he's been through it before with Coach Claire Donahue. But it's fun to see just kind of this different perspective, and I'm enjoying just learning about it and benefiting from it.
I saw that. I was just looking at the TAC Titans coaching staff and everything before this conversation. I didn't realize that Claire was on staff, but I was on a team with Claire when she was swimming too. So that's cool.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, I'm curious. So on the sports psych side, is there anything in meet? I mean, besides like preparing your mindset for big moments in the lead up to or during training, is there anything that you guys have focused on specifically for the 5 to 7 days of a big meet?
I think the main, so I'm pretty competitive. Have been since I was little. I just was born with it. I think for me, meets was like I would just get really caught up in what other people were doing. So I think one of our big focuses was just focusing on myself, taking one race, learning from it, and then just leaving it behind, and then starting fresh for a new race. So I think just that kind of mindset of leaving it behind, starting afresh, has just really helped me do either doubles or like recover from a bad swim, and then the next day just do better.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like San Antonio. Was it San Antonio where he just did the back-to-back 50 free 100 back double and swam crazy fast in both of them?
Yeah.
That are you actually like processing anything in that moment, or is it just like, all right, I got to get my legs fresh because I'm about to do 100 back?
Yeah, so I actually was really worried for it. Like so in Westmont, we actually had like the setup was nice where like I had like 40 minutes in between each event. So those doubles like weren't that hard. Like they were still difficult because it was like 2 back 100 fly, which is like not exciting, but I did it and it was fun. But like I wasn't expecting to have 10 minutes and it was literally 10 minutes. So I thought a lot just about what I was gonna do beforehand and then just kind of went back into automatic. So got out of the 50 free, like done with it, didn't even think about it. Went and warmed down, and then my coach had went and got my stuff from behind the box, which is really sweet of him, just to kind of save on time. And then warmed down like at 300, and then just was like, okay, that's enough, and got out and went. So I don't know. I wasn't really thinking of anything, just of like what the announcer was saying. So it's like men's B final, men's A final, and I was like, okay, my turn. So then I don't know, you just weren't thinking, you were just kind of doing. And I mean, I've trained just kind of that short rest right into the fast in practice. So it's not like it's really that much different at a meet.
When Dressel said, "Why are you so good at the skins in the ISL?" He says, "Well, this is nothing. We do this. We do much harder than this in practice. You know, so I'm used to this. So 350s on what is it? 3 minutes. That's nothing for me." Do you do sets? You talk about swimming fast in practice, or Bruce? What do you do sets like? Will get you up and going? Like you have to do 3 all-out races in 20 minutes?
Lately we've been doing this kind of progression set. So it's 850s of your stroke. And so we've been doing this long course. And so two are on 130, one's on 120, one's on 110, one's on a minute, one's on 50, one's on 40, and then like you're done. So it's definitely helped just kind of my endurance and trying to stay at like my 100 pace for just a long period of time. So I think that's definitely helped because you just had to repeat going fast and then just with less and less rest.
What is your stroke, by the way?
So I would do like butterfly or freestyle for the rounds. Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's like all of that stroke. Yeah. Sorry.
That's hard. Yeah.
So it's kind of a funny question to say, like, what is your stroke? Because you do so many strokes. I mean, you've got nation leading times and like in 3 out of 4 strokes right now. What events are you doing at trials, and do you have goal times for those?
I've actually been like debating a lot about what to do at trials. I think I'm just signing up for everything. um, so 50, 100, 200 back, 50, 100 fly, 50, 100 free. I know that 2 of those days have a double, so I think I might just submit in prelims and then see how it goes if I want to come back and do it for finals. But I think that's the approach right now. I don't really set goal times. I mean, I focus on enough times at practice where it's like I pretty much know where I am. So just trying to go out there and swim the best race that I can, I think is more of my focus. And then whatever time it is, just what the time is.
Claire, there's a race you want to be in at Worlds. You sat on deck at Tokyo and like you saw that 50 free final. You saw that 100 free final. You're like, I want to be in that dance. You went to World Shorts and you got to be on the podium a couple of times. It's like I want to be back there and change the color of that medal. Come on, there's some fire in you. You're competitive. You're like, I need to be in what races? Come
on. Okay, I'm a sucker for 50s because I'm obviously a sprinter. So I'm really excited for the 50 fly and the 50 free. I think they're always a great race, and it's fun that it's just so close. So I think those are the two I'm most excited for. Obviously 100 fly, 100 free, it's stacked fields, obviously, so it's always just a good race and everyone pushes each other. So I think those will be fun. And then backstroke, I mean, I really just don't have expectations for backstroke. I train it here and there in practice, but it's never been like a focus for my training for the past couple months. But I love swimming it. I always have a blast, and obviously some great competition there too. So it's always fun just to get up behind the blocks and be next to those women.
I might make Brian cry here for a second because he was at one point the 50-meter butterfly American record holder when Worlds did not have 50-meter butterfly in there. You couldn't, so like to qualify for the 50, you had to be the top 100 flyer, right? It's a whole different event. I want you guys to talk about that. The difference between that's a 50 fly. I used to do it as a warm up for my events. I just casually do it, but it's an event in itself. The 50 fly long course. It's not just a freestyle that can go and go fast. Talk about that, guys. The 50 fly for two of you. Yeah, it's.
Well, I mean, I think I'm very different, I think, than you, Claire, because I didn't swim fast in season at all. So my approach to, preparation for a 50 long course was a pretty big thing. Like I wasn't going to back that up with another swim 15 minutes later. Obviously, that's easier when you're rested, but well, I think it's easier when I was rested anyway. But yeah, but I mean, to your point, Luke, like I swim at a time when you had to qualify, when you had to, the US didn't select 50s of stroke. And I actually swam the 50 fly in a time trial at the World Championship trials because they didn't actually have the event in the trials. And then a few years later, they added the event, which I think is the right move to make sure that you're getting the fastest 50 swimmer in each event. But I mean, they're still not yet actually taking the top two from that, I don't think, right? Aren't they still only taking the top swimmer?
Yeah, top
50?
swimmer.
So yeah, which I think, is roster limit restricted basically. So but yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. What are your thoughts on preparing for 50s a stroke, Claire?
I don't know. I think there's definitely steps you can take. So I've been trying to focus more on dives and stuff, and I think taper obviously does help. But I mean, I just kind of learned how to swim like a 50, I'd say. But I think it's fun. It adds another level of spice to the World Championships, and it's fun for us sprinters because obviously 50s are amazing, and you don't get to do them at the Olympics. But I think prepping for a 50 for me is I don't know. I just enjoy it. Just the fast stuff. You don't have to do pace and warm up, which is kind of exciting. So yeah, I don't know. I love it. I'm glad that they have it at World Trials and Worlds. So yeah, I'm just excited to compete in it.
One question that I have in comparison to the 50 free and the 50 fly is that in my experience, I felt like the question was, do you take a breath or do you not take a breath? And for me, taking a breath in a 50 freestyle was always disruptive to my stroke tempo. And so there were some people that were able to work in a breath and still stay within stroke rate. I'd say like most top male sprinters nowadays don't take a breath. On the women's side, it seems like you have a little bit of both, but for the most part, everybody takes one breath in the 50 free. What I found was that in butterfly, though, I felt like the breath 35 meters into the race really helped lift my hips up. And I found that more relevant in butterfly. Do you have a difference between how you approach like race tactics of different strokes there on the 50?
I think not so much for me. I think I ride pretty high in the water just by myself. And I think just when I'm going at a high tempo, my hips naturally kind of stay up. I do one breath for both 50 free and 50 fly.
Okay.
But I think my approach is kind of the same. It's just an all-out sprint, and then just trying to really build that fast into the wall. The only matter is sometimes my butterfly breath slows down my stroke rate a little bit. So just remembering to keep my head down and hips up, I think would help.
All right, let's talk about NCAAs.
Mm.
You are going to be in the mix next year, but you have to sit back and watch all the action happening this year. I just, off the top, what was your reaction watching the NCAA meet? A lot of excitement.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was hard being at home. I always love being there, and I love swimming, so I was itching to get back into the water, and just race. But kudos to all of the ladies. They did so amazing, and it was so fun to watch. And I think they really just kind of set off NCAA's right, and just made me super excited just for San Antonio, watching men's NCAA's, and then also just World Trials this summer, I guess. Yeah.
All right, so you had a lot of Olympic teammates swimming there, doing a lot of amazing things, namely Kate with one of the best NCAA performances ever. I mean, there's so many great performances there between Alex, all the UVA girls. Reagan had an amazing meet. Tori had a great meet. Obviously, you adding to the Stanford mix next year is going to make that race a hell of a lot tighter. First, what was your reaction to Kate getting under your American record in the 100 fly?
I knew it was gonna happen. I was just kind of looking to see who was gonna do it. I think it was a great race. It was very well executed. She had some great like competition next to her, Maggie McNeil, Tori Husk. I mean, I knew they were all gonna go at it. So I had a blast watching it. I think they did an incredible job. It was hard for her. She was so close to 48, but I'm excited to be up there with them. I think they all pushed each other. So hopefully they'll push me and then we can maybe all get under it together. So
you have some really good media training on the U.S. Olympic team, and so deep down inside, I'm going to say, I guess you said, "Well done. I'm coming for her again. That's going to be mine again." Come on, I would say that to Brian. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately it's just records are made to be broken. So she did a great job, and then if she breaks it again next year, awesome job. I mean,
yeah.
I think it's just whoever's the most prepared, and they obviously were on fire that meet. So I think it was a great race, and I'm excited just to see what they do next year.
Well, when you chose Stanford, you're a trainer Tori, and you guys have a history in 100 fly. Yeah. But did you know that you're gonna have dual meets against Maggie now? What do you think about that?
No, I saw that, and that was actually really cool because I was honestly a little scared of Maggie for a very long time. She's very fast, and I actually got to talk to her a little bit in the ready room at Short Course World. So she's such a pleasure to be around. Obviously, so dominant in her events, and I think it'll be great just for dual meets and for in season. I'm really excited for that. Yeah.
So I'm curious if, well, all of these swimmers we talked about thus far are really good out of high school coming into college. You've got a couple future teammates already, Olympic teammates, specifically in Reagan and Tori, who were, really good in high school and went into the college scene with a lot of expectations. You're kind of living that now. I'm curious, besides the, sports psych impact on you, is there any coaching or discussion that you've had with Reagan or Tori or others who have experienced success at the high school level as a teenager, and like how to best, channel that and, just not let it get the best of you as you kind of come into future meets with big expectations?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's going to be present for anyone. I know I've talked to Tori and Reagan about it a lot, and Reagan mentioned it in one of her interviews, but people always will kind of have expectations. They've done a great job coaching me, just focusing on the team. I think that's really helped them the most, just having that supportive environment around them, knowing that it doesn't really matter, and that they'll be behind them no matter what. I think it's comforting for them, and I'm excited to experience that myself next year. And I think that loving and supportive environment just helped them know that they didn't have to do their best in NCAA. They have to do their best in season. They didn't have to listen to all the outside noise. I know Greg also harps on not kind of paying attention to the media and just focusing on training. So I think hearing all of that from them has definitely helped. And then also I've had honestly it a little bit easier than them. After the Olympics, I was able to come back home. Routine got back to normal in Cary, where they had to go up with their whole life into college. So uh, kudos to them for having that big move and also just being able to handle all of that pressure coming off of the Olympics. So I'm excited to go join them next year and you learn more about how to adjust a freshman year. But it's been great just talking to them.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear Reagan's reflection on, how she's adjusted to life in college and, coaching and a different training environment, but then I think just navigate all of it, right? But I want to come back to something that you said earlier because I think it's relevant here. You were talking about, you know, taper and what exactly your needs are and keeping the volume up, let's say because of your build and your age. That sounds like pretty self-aware to me, and I'm curious, that's something that every athlete as they move on, we, as much as we like to think about sport as being science, it's art. Your body's different every year. Your training environment's different every year. You can do the same sets exactly the same one year after another, but then have a different result, right? It's just everything, things can be different. So I'm just curious, like, what's your approach, to maybe, I guess what I'm trying to get at is when you interact with a coach, do you feel like you are aware of what your needs are and do you voice them? And is that the kind of relationship that you feel like you expect to have and can continue to have with coaches as you progress in your career?
Yeah, I think my parents kind of told me since I was younger, you want to take ownership of kind of what you love. So I've always been like a student of the sport since I was younger. I love learning why things help, like how they help. So all of my coaches since when I've been younger, I've had kind of more of a partnership with them instead of a coach swimmer. It's been more of a working together. So I'm open communication with them all the time. I always let them know how I'm feeling, if the set was good or bad, how that kind of made me feel. So I think I enjoy kind of that partnership aspect of it, and I think it's really helped me just learn more about my body, learn how different sets are good or bad for my body, and just talk to them, learn about their reasoning. Because I think ultimately, from every person, you can learn a lot about yourself. And I don't know, I just enjoy learning, so I think that part's been great for me.
Well, kudos to the environment that you're in because a lot of teenage girls, especially, don't have the, I guess, the confidence or even the safe environment to be their authentic self, to express themselves naturally, and have a coach who listens to you and not only listens but understands, and then on top of that, act. A
Mhm,
lot of them do. They feel the pressure of this dominating person in their life, and
mhm.
so kudos to the environment you've been in and the
Yes.
attitude you took, because I think that's obviously a huge part for your phenomenal success.
Yeah, I've been extremely fortunate to have just a great family, a great team, and just a great coaching staff. So it'll be sad to leave it next year, but I'm also excited for the future because Greg seems like a great guy. Tracy seems like an amazing woman, and their team culture, I think, is it's building itself to be something quite dangerous. So I'm excited just for the future, and I'm also really grateful for what I have right now.
I'm curious how, like, one more and then we can get off of this, but I want to know how the difference between, or maybe if there's an approach that you have to this, the difference between when it's time to listen and just suck it up and buy in
Mhm.
to the plan versus this isn't this maybe set doesn't work for me, or this type of training doesn't work for me, or kind of when to push back. Do you feel like you have a good read on, hey, this is when I should express something because I think that it maybe isn't working versus that, like, I just need to get it done and this is the right thing?
Mhm. I think I'm the type of person that'll just do things even though they are kind of hard. I know that it'll benefit me in one way or another down the line. I've learned a lot from my mom. She's really good at speaking up and voicing her opinion. So having her encourage me to have more open communication with my coach, I think that's definitely helped. But I think ultimately when you get those, as my coach calls it, little stabby pains, that's time you like speak up and say something. So
Mm.
I think I do kind of know my body's limits. I think one thing for sports psych has helped me almost go beyond my body's limits, which is good and bad. But I think I can kind of feel when it's too much, but also I kind of thrive off of getting uncomfortable and staying in that little zone for as long as I can, because that ultimately is what helps you at that last 15 meters of the race. So I think I kind of have a knowledge, but also sometimes I might push a little too hard. But yeah, if that answers your question.
Yeah.
I want to change a little bit, keep on schools, but the different tactics. So I coach a high school girls team for 2 or 3 years. So 110 girls on the school here, where we were in San Jose. And, it's high school swimming. But, you get the club swimmers who came in, and oh my God, when the club swimmers came in, all the high school girls are so happy. What's it like swimming for Cardinal Gibbons High School, going to high school meets, and in walks, an Olympic medalist? And what's your relationship with the high school? And what's that feeling like to be part of that team and your friends who you're in class, wherever you get to swim at? Just talk about the high school environment, not TAC Titans, not USA Swimming, high school.
Yeah. I think high school's been great for my career. Age group swimming when you're really, really little is obviously very fun, but you kind of get a revival of that in high school because some kids are just learning how to swim, and you have people from all different kinds of experience levels just on this team together working towards a common goal. And even divers. I mean, you don't have that in age group swimming, in age group swimming. So it's been great for me. I absolutely love the coaches. They get super excited not only about what Gibbons does and all of them, but also they get excited about what I do outside of Gibbons in that realm. So it's been great just kind of learning about the fun and just starting swimming just all over again. I love high school meets. They're probably one of my favorite meets in general because you just have all of these parents just excited to see their kids in the water finishing a race, and that kind of energy you want to go fast. So that's very hard to replicate in some of those bigger meets. So I always get super excited going to those high school state meets when the stands are going wild. You have kids bringing like blow up lions for their schools and throwing them around. So I think high school has been a great part of my career. I've absolutely loved it. I'm hoping kind of college swimming's like that, but you probably can't get away with some of the things you eat at high school swimming with college swimming. But yeah, I think it's been so much fun. I've gotten to know a lot of my school friends a lot better because I'm not always in school with swim meets taking me away a lot. But school's been great. Some of my first friends were on my high school swim team since I was new. So yeah, it's been.
When you race for Gibbons and you're against your arch rivals, and in the 100 fly, the second ranked 100 flyer is a 105. Do you say, I'm going to crush you by a 25, or do you like back off a bit and just win and don't make them feel bad?
I that's a funny question. I mean, when I get up behind the blocks, it's focus on your race and how you can help your team. So it's about doing my best for my team. And then when you hit the wall, you obviously congratulate people next to you. They did a great job. They tried their best. It's competition. So
you still crush them because you're competitive. You still
I
crush them, but you still nice job.
I will race them. That is
okay. You race them. Okay, good.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about NIL and sponsorships because you're kind of a hybrid pro/college swimmer. Was it on the table for you at all to go pro and skip the college route? And yeah, maybe start there.
I mean, the idea was entertained, but it was never serious. I knew I always wanted to go and swim in college. So when the NIL deal and the laws came out, I was super excited because you had this chance to be a part of something bigger than yourself as being a sponsored athlete. How many people can say that? Like, that's honestly so cool. But then also you get to go to college, have a college experience, and be with a college team which is something that I didn't want to miss out on. So I was thrilled that those laws came out when they did, and I'm excited that I was able to actually catch it at the right time.
Do you feel like you?
Go ahead.
So, do you feel like you have a good understanding of what you can do, and like, are there beyond the sponsorships that you already have? Are you like actively looking to continue to promote your brand and grow the I guess that part of your professional life?
It's definitely something I've had to do more research on, just to not try to step on toes, but also learning about social media presence and how to post and stuff like that. So it's definitely a whole new world for me. I didn't think I was ever gonna be in it, but I'm super thrilled that I am. And I've just really enjoyed it so far.
I was going to ask, how is it going to work at Stanford? Is Arena still Stanford's sponsor?
Mhm.
Does TIA have a negotiation where you're allowed to wear this, but you have to race in that? Or what's the exemption for like you and Tori, who are TYR athletes, and the team kit is Arena? I don't understand how that works clearly.
Yeah. So for Tori and Reagan, who are both sponsored by Team and Speedo,
Speedo, sorry.
yeah. So Stanford has a contract. All of their swimmers will compete in Arena when it's like a Stanford meet. So in season you wear Arena, and at NCAA's you wear Arena. But then any USA Swimming sponsored or like other meet, you wear your sponsor. So if I'm at a college meet, I'll probably be wearing Arena to my knowledge, and then at any other meet, just here.
I'm surprised. I thought Reagan was wearing Speedo suits at NCAA's. Maybe I had that wrong, but yeah, that's where you get into the rub. I mean, you've seen some of this in Olympic competition as well. I think France is one of the national governing bodies historically that you've had some sponsored athletes, but TIR had maybe say, for example, they had Speedo athletes, but TIR had the sponsorship of the governing body of French swimming. So everybody still wore, TIR gear. So it's funny how I think those bodies and companies are still trying to figure out what the right way of handling this sort of thing is, but do have some examples of it. So
I mean, I think it's a whole new world, especially with NIL and now college athletes being sponsored and competing for their college. So I think they're all new and everyone's still trying to figure it out, but I think they'll all get their things straightened eventually. So
yeah. All right, got a couple of rapid fire questions for you before we finish up.
Okay.
What's the hardest race in swimming?
Two fly, without a doubt. Two fly long course, I will specify, because I have recently gotten over my fear of two fly short course, but two fly long course, definitely.
I feel you.
Olympic gold, world record, or ISL MVP?
Olympic gold, because something I've kind of had just with my Olympic medal is that you bring joy to so many people. I mean, some of them have never seen an Olympic medal in person, so being able to kind of share that with them when they normally wouldn't have that opportunity has just been super cool for me to be a part of.
Yeah,
I agree.
Should the 50s of stroke be Olympic events and NCAA events?
I say absolutely. I would love to do 50s, so please add them because I would have a blast.
If there was one Olympic sport that you could do besides swimming, what sport would it be?
Does it have to be summer or winter?
Whichever one you want.
Whatever. I think figure skating looks really cool. I feel like gymnastics is really cool, but I don't know if their training looks grueling, and I don't know if I could do that. And then also track, like the short track. I don't do a lot of them.
Oh yeah. Sprint, power, explosive.
Yes.
Who's the greatest high school swimmer in history?
Ooh. Missy Franklin.
You are.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, there's no humility on the show. Bravado.
You could toot your own horn a bit.
She did pretty amazing things in high school, though. It was quite impressive.
She did.
What event's going to be your first world record?
Oh. 50 fly. I don't know. That's a weird question.
I know. Welcome to Social Kick.
What is your favorite high school snack that you're going to have to give up when you go to college meets?
Probably. Okay, so there is this restaurant, or I guess bakery in North Carolina, Great Harvest Bread Company, and they make this cinnamon bread that is so good. And we get it in our high school meets because they like bring food for us, which is very kind of them. And so you would like be eating cinnamon bread and then going swimming. So that was amazing.
See, Luke, that's what she's thinking about before she's about to beat somebody by 10 seconds in a 100 high school meet. She's like, oh, God, this bread is good.
I mean, race.
I'm a sucker for any bread product, so yes.
What's a race, one race that you never do at big meets that you think you'd be really good at?
Two back? I mean, I do it at some higher level meets, but I don't think I ever really do it at like Olympic trials or those kind of things because it always gets in the way a little bit of 100 fly or another event that is sprintier.
You've
So
gone
I think,
207,
I
right?
mean,
It's pretty good. 207 is what you've gone. That's pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Okay.
I enjoy backstroke. I don't mind the tuner back long course. Short course, you get a little tight on oxygen, but long course is actually kind of enjoyable. I mean, maybe I'll submit at this meet coming up, but we'll see.
We've had a lot of people say the 2-back long course is the hardest race in swimming. So,
Really? Actually, that's my favorite 200 long course.
oof, legs, brutal. Good on you. Okay, what nail color are you going with for trials?
Hot pink. Like the brightest pink ever.
Is there a brand of nail polish that you might enjoy wearing?
Yes, I am sponsored by Death Valley Nails. So they have this really hot pink, and I am definitely going to wear it.
Are they going to name a pink color after you?
Maybe. I mean, maybe. I will bring it up, but that would be cool.
I like it. All right, last one. Do you do social kick?
Yes, obviously. That's amazing. I love kicking and I love talking, so duh. And sometimes we get yelled at for it because we do it without permission, but better
You got
to
our
actually.
permission today.
I love it. Right on. Well, Claire, thanks for hanging out with us. We thoroughly enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you swim fast in Greensboro. Until then, we'll just keep on training away. And until next time, that's it. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, guys.
I know. Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you're enjoying Social Kick, tell your friends about it. And be sure to tell us what you liked by leaving a comment and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Social Kick. And you can find all of our content on our website,